Nice play here from Ruiz. Very creative. And really didn't get as much out of it as he deserved. May have left a gap for Dennis, if not at least a pretty doable jump shot. No, I think for Dennis, which he's been in a good situation, good ever since the Whirlpool Masters, staying here in the UK. I think the one thing that he has to deal with a bit more of, it's just a bit of nerves at times. We all know where he stands in the pool world as far as ability, and he's really a guy that's stood the test in many different ways, but this is a big one, the inaugural UK Open. All right, no wing ball again. Did get one down in the corner. He's going to have a decent shot on the one, but the two all the way back down table. And you know, as far as Ruiz is concerned, these fields of 256, when we do have them, there's going to be 3 or 4 events like that this year that are considered majors or close to majors, if not majors. But there's usually going to be someone that loses early as the top seeds that has to try and make it through. And for Ruiz, he had to just say, why not me? You know, why can't I continue? And he just got stronger and stronger. What an opener there from Dennis. We talk about Dennis a lot. He has a lot of different paces of play at times, it seems. And it's almost like he'll start off fast when he's a little, you know, more nervous than normal, and then kind of settle in. Whatever type of shot he addresses sometimes gets his attention and slows him down.
Dennis breaking and running, looking even more of a menace. He has won so much over the years. Being here to him is second nature, and I would put him amongst the favourites to go all the way and lift the silverware tomorrow night, Jeremy.
Yeah, watch for the back ball coming off the rack. Of course, oh, it got kissed there, so maybe our first look, and definitely a different complexion as far as the break shot here in the final 16.
Number 6. Our current score is 4-1 in favor of Mr. Orcoll. Mr. Sanchez, Ruiz.
And I kind of felt he would switch sides, seeing the way the balls broke for Dennis. Oh, golden break.
That's the second one sustained, if that's the right word, by Orcoll this week. That's a way to get back into a match swiftly. Look at this. There's the 9 ball, and it's the 8 that very kindly nudges it in. So 4-2, a very quick rack.
And again, back down table for the 9. Yeah, that's the concern here.
Extension, please.
And this is falling just a touch funny, and it's because the 9 ball, you know, you don't want an angle on the brown 7 where you're kind of cannoning into the 9. So he wants to get as heavy as he can. Still a little awkward, but he should follow his ball up somewhere around that right side pocket. Keep it simple. Well, I'll tell you, after not shooting much early, he looks very comfortable at being Ruiz.
given his route to this stage, he might start to feel he's destined to win this thing, you know. And if you have that kind of feeling, positivity flows.
Yeah, absolutely.
How rapidly things can change at 4-0. Dennis Orcoll broke dry. He left the one ball on for FSR. He cleared up. He then had a golden break and looked good in that rack also. It is 4-3.
That was all about the cue ball. He never really got settled, I don't think, on how he wanted to play the cue ball up and down the table, and a huge miss here. Hardly imagine you could miss it, it being that close to the hole.
Orcoll is grateful he did miss it, because that could be a real turning point.
And I'm very interested to see, after he clears these last two, as he should, where he goes with the break next. He's had some success, obviously, from their left side, but Ruiz making more balls from the right.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is how matches can turn.
It coasts, you know, past the 9, near the 5. You're not going to send it very far. It's all touch. And I'm not only not surprised he took it, little surprised at the position of the cue ball after the rollout from Dennis. If you're going to leave that type of shot, you normally would put the cue ball on a cushion somewhere, making cueing much more difficult.
Yeah, I don't know whether Orcoll was momentarily flummoxed by the shot clock, but he played the rollout, the push out very quickly, and didn't really put Sanchez Ruiz under any great pressure.
That's a foul. I got that.
But it's all worked out in the end for the Spaniard.
Well, in Dennis's defense, I mean, he knew it was going to be an easy kick shot in return, but you still don't want to leave an easy snooker just because you can't always determine it, even as great a kicker as he is.
Yeah, you can get one-sided matches in 9-ball, but this has been back and forth, thrust and counter thrust. And how about that?
And I think that was definitely played, trying to bring the cue ball back behind the 5 and the 7. A lot of the guys want to kick firm at these shots, and they lose accuracy, it seems like, on the slick table. And I kind of like rolling this anyways. I think the cue ball might get behind the 9, maybe elevated somehow, maybe some type of awkward shot on the 1. Don't think I rip at this one, Phil. I think it's a lighter kick for me anyways.
It's a foul.
No love so here of late for Dennis.
Not very often you see that, Jeremy. Consecutive kicks from the Filipino that result in scratches.
The shorter version of the jump cue. Got action on the 7 as well here, not just the 3. Oh, wow, what a shot. Wow. Well, Dennis now, his last 3 shots, 2 kicks that lost the cue ball, and now a jump shot. That was very unfortunate, losing the cue ball as well.
A scratch fest for Orcoll. So unjust. The 9-ball rankings and the prize money, all of which is a massive incentive. But for the European players, always in the back of their minds, certainly at this time of year, it becomes more in the forefront of their minds as the calendar year progresses. But in their minds, Mosconi Cup selection. And Francisco Sanchez Ruiz definitely on the radar in that regard.
Yeah, and been on the radar for some time, and you know, arguably could have made the team already, right? Some people's opinions, and he's trying to take those opinions away and make it fact.
Six of the best from Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. Having trailed 6-3, he now leads 9-6. Dennis Orcoll finds himself in an ever-deepening hole.
Put the cue ball underneath the pink 4. I think he's supposed to shoot at this. I really do. Now, how he wants to shoot at it, I would disregard the cue ball as far as safety here. I'd go with a high ball. Some players would pull this ball with a low left English trying to get the cue ball up table. I think I'd just go with a high ball, maybe go right into the pink. Simplify the shot. Yeah, it looks like he was going to put English. And shot clock, we talked about it early. It got to him there.
Dennis was laughing there, got the look on his face as to say, well, you can't complain too much. I've had 3 scratches. That's only your first.
And he shot it the way I was talking about. I probably wouldn't have. He hit it with a low left, and it's just a lot more things you have to think about rather than just a natural high ball.
Congratulations.
Orcoll to break.
David Al-Qaedi, and indeed the man we've been watching this morning, Francisco Sanchez Ruiz, aren't just players, they are commentators as well. They commentate in Spanish language on lots of the big snooker events.
Yeah, talented individuals, and this is what I feared. I commented on it last time Dennis broke, that he took a little speed off, and I don't like the chances of the corner ball with the wooden rack from what I've seen so far. With the lighter side on the break, we've seen Ruiz, he's just unloading and making balls, but he's gotten into a great position, and still with that rhythm feel, he looks great at the table.
For several years he showed glimpses of this, but never at a sustained level. But over the last couple of years he's grown more and more formidable.
Yeah, and if you had to pick one player in the final 16, you know, not maybe week in, week out, but this week alone, to overcome a 4-0 deficit early and do it with, you know, what looks like just kind of floating around the table, that being Ruiz, I think this is the guy you would have picked. He's faced a difficult task, it seems like, the entire week.
Well, if he goes on to win the tournament, and that's something I'm not discounting, it would be 13 matches played for him. And it wouldn't be an unlucky 13 either. So Francisco Sanchez Ruiz finds himself on the hill.
See a little body get thrown into the break here. And definitely not gonna back down. Well, Dennis Orcoll. Oh, we're going to see him again. 2 dry breaks in a row here. One from Dennis, now one from FSR.
We've seen more dry breaks in this match than any other televised contest this week.
Yeah, I think maybe more than I remember the combination of all the matches, and playing the 1 off the 6. It was always going to be a dicey shot. Caught both the points, but did not fall. Just keep it simple. Remember how well you're playing. Don't try to get too cute with position play. Just get down and do really the basis and basics of the game, pocketing the ball.
Extension, please.
Besides position, getting this green 6 down will probably get him into that final 8.
Just caught it a hair thick. It caught the near jaw, but went in.
Yeah, and that caught a little of the jaw, but it was all speed control. He knew he had a bit of an open pocket from that angle and that speed. I'll tell you, hats off to Dennis Orcoll. He's played a great tournament, but just this guy's still not to be denied.
In the Olympic Park, it is Viva España. First, David Alcaide through, and now he's good buddy. Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. He trailed 4-0 and 6-3, but in the end, he got the job done. What a run this is against all adversity, against the odds. He's still here, somehow, into the quarterfinals. Well, all we need, I think, is a Welshman in here, because we've got England, Ireland and Scotland in the commentary box. Great to have the company of Jason Shaw. Well, as you were just joining us there, Jason, we were talking about what a massive challenge this is going to be for Imran Majid.
Yeah, I'm sure Imran will be ready for this match. You know, he's in the UK, he's got some fans here watching him, so it's going to be tough no matter what from this stage on. Everybody's playing good. He's such a good front runner.
Jason, what is it that makes Joshua Filler so good? What are his strengths when you watch him?
He just keeps running out from everywhere. No, I think you know, he's still young, and he's playing just, you know, like he just doesn't care. That's what it looks like.
Pre-match interview there that we heard with Imran Majid. I was impressed with what he said, but he has to see Joshua Filler as just another player with a pool stick in his hand. Now, we know, Jason, that is not the case, but that's the mindset he's got to take, to not be frightened at all by the reputation of his opponent.
Yeah, I think if you're playing, doesn't matter who you're playing at this stage. If you're in the event and you're playing well, you're not worried about your opponent. You're just trying to focus on yourself. So, yeah, I think that's a good comment from Imran, and he seems like he's focused and playing pretty well. So hopefully we can see Imran get to the table and maybe string a few racks together. But for now, looks like Josh is going to get the first rack on the board.
One of the key factors in determining what sort of chance Majid might have of pulling off an upset here will be how soon he can actually get to the table. We've seen a number of matches this week with a clear pre-match favourite has just run out into a big lead, and by the time the underdog
Joshua Filler wins the rack.
has even got to the table, he's already chasing a big deficit. So Joshua Filler, break and run from the opening rack, and he leads 1-0. Imran Majid has been on the scene for so long. He's actually going to be 50 later this year. But it's been frustrating for him so far. Every time he's come to the table, it's felt like he's just been trying to solve a conundrum. Nothing much to go at yet.
Try and pot this one ball in the bottom left corner, draw the cue ball off the side rail, playing for the 2 ball on the top left. He might try and come back for the side pocket. Good shot there from Josh.
Yeah, made it look very easy, that shot, but whenever the cue ball and the object ball is close together and you can't see the pocket in your eye line.
Looks like it's going to be 4-0.
Yeah, this is where Filler is just so good. Cue ball control is always good enough, and as we've said, he doesn't really miss silly balls.
If you were watching our coverage of the Mosconi Cup just before Christmas at Alexandra Palace, you'll remember that Filler was the man who delivered the winning point for Europe. Second time he's done that. And Jason, you know what that feeling is like.
Yeah, I could have made it my third time, but Skylar got me.
Didn't you have a miscue in that match when you had a chance to clinch the winning point? You were 2-0 up, I think, and then a miscue out of nowhere.
I think I was 2-1 up and a miscued, and then after that, Skylar played good, and I didn't really do too much wrong after that. But yeah, it would have been nice to win the final point, but it's a team game, and I wasn't really too bothered after it. I just wanted to win.
And you did get MVP again, so you can't have everything.
Yeah, you can't have everything.
Extension, please.
That's just the way life is.
Listen, Michael, won't let you forget about them miscues. Don't worry about that.
Starting to move through the gears now. He had a break and run in the opening rack. And he's had another one now in rack 4. Joshua Filler still in total control here. He leads Imran Majid, the sole surviving home player, 4-0.
Might be ducking, playing safe, putting the cue ball up towards the 7 on the top rail. He's over at the 4 though. Needs this 4 to slow down. It's gone wrong. Well, you just spoke about the safety game being not too good at Joshua Filler, and that was a shocker.
Yeah, I'm only going off of what he said in the last event. He said maybe he could work on his safety game a little bit more, and maybe that's something they have been working on. So he knows that, and I'm sure he'll be disappointed with that shot.
Well, cueing from off the rail and a bit of work to do to secure position. Not the sort of shot you want to face when you've been basically frozen out for the whole match so far.
He's just got to commit to this. Stay down.
You're unlikely to get many chances when you play Joshua Filler. When you do get them, you've got to take full advantage. And although he made hard work of it, Imran Majid has now delivered and is off the mark here. He trails 4-1.
Yeah, but Jay, that overhead just tells you how much more difficult this shot is than the previous angle, doesn't it?
I think you're going to see him go high here and come up past the side pocket and back across. And he's made it with ease.
Needs to miss the 8. Was playing for the 8 in the same pocket as the 6. He's okay though, he's nudged it okay. Can just pop this in the side and run the cue ball round the table for choice of bottom corners.
So once Majid had control of the table, he really wanted to hold on to it as long as he could, but his momentum was halted by a dry break, and he was sat down for the rest of the rack. Filler 3 clear again at 5-2.
Looks like he's going to go for a jump shot here, Carl. Very close.
Yeah, this is... He's got a bit of a distance. I'm kind of sat side on to the table from Combox, and the one is not as close to that top rail as we think, so big key here is to get this cue ball landing so they don't fly off the table.
Foul shot. Ball in hand.
I think he jumped over the 1 ball. I think he jumped over the edge of it.
Start the clock, please.
Well, we'll tell from here. Well, seemed to take a hop just before it and maybe then jump over it.
What a camera angle that is, by the way, the slow-mo there. That's amazing. Sean Nokia was 5-1 up, right, Michael, over on table 2. He now trails 8-5 to Woodward.
Yeah, Skylar just
Extension,
3 racks
please.
away now from the quarterfinals.
I have been keeping an eye on here. I can see right through the screens here, and I was watching. It was 5-5, and Skylar broke off, and he made 2 or 3 balls, and he had a bank shot on the 2 ball, and he missed the bank, nearly made the 6 ball, but left the 2 ball behind the 9. So Noki had to kick, and then I guess that's all he's done from there. So it can be a cruel game at times.
Well, with the winner breaks format, every mistake and the consequences of it can be magnified so greatly.
Yeah, and if you can hear crunching of balls on your TV screens, that's actually SVB practicing.
He's actually playing 3 ball right now.
Yeah, there's 8 practice tables kind of just to the left in this arena, and well, Shane's the only player practicing at the minute.
That's 4 run-outs from the break so far in this match from Joshua Filler, and this is the biggest lead he's had yet. He's just 3 racks away from a place in the quarter-finals of the inaugural UK Open here in London. He now leads Imran Majid 8-3.
I'll tell you what I've noticed as well. Every time Joshua pots an iron, Imran claps, sits in his chair and he claps. I'm not really sure what that's about. Filler still needs 3 racks.
Imran needs to win this rack and then try and break and run a couple, just to try and put a little bit of heat on Filler.
Yeah. Oh, and just as you say that, and we'd written the last rights for this rack, he's gone and done that, and that really is the biggest error he's made in the match. It could be the most significant.
Yeah, that's unforgivable. That is a really bad miss there from Imran, and that for me is probably the end of the match, to be fair. I think Filler will just go on from here and pick up more momentum.
Well, put it this way, he's in needing a miracle territory now, really. We've said it so many times in this match, the limited number of opportunities you'll get against Joshua Filler, you've got to make the most of them. He'd done that very effectively in this contest until that 7 ball came along, and having left it over the pocket, Imran Majid knew what was coming next. Joshua Filler 6 clear for the first time at 9-3.
This 1 ball, I'm not saying he can get close to the 2, but he can do something. He's got to keep Filler off 10. That's got to be the key goal now.
You've used it.
Well, can you believe that?
Got
He's
time.
called the
That
extension.
was out of time. Can we just check it?
He's been reminded by Brendan Moore, a
Just 1 second, I'll
referee
check that
from
out.
Sheffield, that he had already used his extension. And although they're going to check it,
Back in here.
the call
Confirm
at the
that was out of
moment
time.
is that he was out of time.
Yeah, I think he was out of time there. It was beep, 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 just as he was going to strike the ball.
Does anyone? I can't hear the beeps back. Can you just ask them to check it in the truck? I'm pretty sure it was out of time, but I can't hear the beeps back.
What do you think, guys?
You've used it.
Well, can you believe that?
Got
He's
time.
called the
That was
extension.
out of time. Just check it
He's
was
been
out of time.
reminded
Yeah.
by Brendan.
Yeah.
That's absolutely conclusive. Brendan Moore, former bus driver,
the clock, please.
and he has served a ticket on Imran Majid there.
Well, Michael, I could just see Imran looking at his wife again there, and forget the couch, he might be in the shed.
2 big mistakes there, 2 games in a row.
Well, that's it. I mean, you play someone like Joshua Filler, you can take getting beaten, but what you can't take is beating yourself.
Filler makes this. Oh. Well, hit that unbelievable too.
Yeah, how close was that?
Well, Majid is the one smiling there. Filler's the one shaking his head. I think it should be the other way around, the way these have finished.
Could see the cue ball land on the 4-ball there.
Well, he can't see. It looks like he's having to kick. Real frost, Carl. Looks like he can see the edge.
Extension, please.
No.
I think he can massy it a little bit to make this. I'm not sure if rail frost is necessary.
Yeah, Filler's been quite fortunate not to leave something more straightforward.
I think this is the shot. This is better than going rail first. He's got a chance he can miss this rail first. Yep.
And that looks very likely to be the end of that.
Yeah, we've just seen America's Skylar Woodward win his match on table 2. SVB's made his way over there, the current world champ. He's going to be playing Mark Beisterbosch, so it's going to be a good game over there too. Can Shane set up that all-American clash in the quarters? 4 balls left for Filler, and he will be through to the quarterfinals as well.
Yeah, it's been a pretty accomplished performance, really. Imran Majid hasn't helped himself towards the end of the match, but he can take some consolation from the fact that he wouldn't have been coming in with much expectation anyway. We'll see him again in the World Cup of Pool in a few weeks' time. He'll be paired up with Chris Melling for the Great Britain B team.
Please.
And of course, Majid can come away with the knowledge that he was the last British player left and the only one to make it through to the weekend.
Yeah, I think overall Josh will be fairly happy, but he knows he's got to just tighten up a few things.
It's the UK Open, but it's now closed to UK players in terms of pursuing the title because Imran Majid is out. Joshua Filler pulling away from 6-3 with 5 racks in a row. He beats Majid 11-3, and he's now just 3 wins away from becoming the first ever winner of this UK Open crown.